Good evening, everybody. Matt Geary here for Geek Pride's Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign, The Legend of Our Sacrifice. With me tonight, we have the usual faces, and she's back, ladies and gents. She's back with Player 2. So we've got... Oh, actually, we'll leave you to last. We've got Michael Starval.
Good evening, everyone.
We've got Wes as Valishal Nostius.
Hey everyone.
We've got Dave as Thomas Moonstar.
Evening all.
Mark is currently trying to fix his computer. We have Pete as Draken. Where's Pete gone to? Oh,
I think
He's
he's
out and he's coming
Oh.
back. I think he's loading back in again.
all of his...
Great start, everyone.
There you go. Great start. We got Pete as Draken.
Good evening, everyone.
And, ladies and gentlemen, after a... How long? 6 months? 6 months?
No, he's almost 8 months old.
Wow. Nearly. Wow. After a very
No,
long
he's not.
hiatus, she's back with player number 2. We've got Danny as Galandra Rivenstar. Woo! Yeah! She's back. She's back.
Guys, this one was meant to be asleep, and he's not. So he's gonna roll for me.
Right. Okay. So, bit of a recap from the last session, which not a lot happened in. So I don't have to go through a lot. Basically, you tracked a. You went to the port. You found a. By the way, there's a bit of audio coming through your. Danny, can you sort of move your microphone slightly away? I think.
Better.
You went to the port, you what did you do? You talked to the portmaster, who basically told you about some ships that had gone missing or hadn't turned up. You spied some bad guys in the crowd, and you followed 2 of them. You then trapped them in an alleyway beside the Pig and Harp pub in Taunt. Draken split one in twain, and the other one you proceeded to interrogate very severely.
Just like that, I started it.
And we say interrogate, we say it's others might say torture, but yeah, you tortured this guy, and by the end of it, you were pretty much going to kill him. Thankfully, Draken was able to save him from being murdered.
Had to use an inspiration point.
Yeah. And so that's it. You found out a name, a guy called Temple Smith. You found out about them basically sowing the seed of Sacrafel across the Balon. You found out about sort of potential build up within Camberford, within Silkside. No, not Silkside. Fuck. Kibarath.
Kibarath.
Yeah, Kibarath.
Sometime a long time ago, Matthew.
Silkside was a very long time ago, and yeah, and that's about it. You are about to haul off. You're about to haul off the captive to his the inn, I guess, to the hotel. Is that where you're taking him?
Wherever Lady Tomp was.
Yeah, I think that's where she is.
Off there. Okay, so what we're going to do is, firstly, I'm going to add something here. Where is it? I can't find it. That's annoying. All right, doesn't matter. Okay, so we're going to start off with Danny and her awakening from her deep slumber.
just slightly recap on me? The last I kind of heard, I was possibly having some sort of emergency demon baby
Okay, yeah,
section in.
okay.
So
Okay, so let me go to let me stick some music on. We want some where is the tavern music? Where are you, music? Oh, tavern.
I woke up and gone straight to the pub because that's what I want to do.
Yeah, you've woken up and you want to go straight to the bar.
I'm fine with that.
Winter snow. We don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want that. Or that one. Or that one. Or that one. That's all the bad music. We don't want Aces High. That's the porn music.
Maybe not that. I guarantee that's.
Greetings.
We don't want that one either. That's Greetings. Medieval Library. We don't want that. We don't want anything to do with pirates or could do for fishing. No, we don't want Bavarian Castle or the Battle Axe. Oh, this is annoying. Oh, there it is. There we go. Okay, so let me stick you. I don't really need to go to Camberford, but I'll stick it on to Camberford for the sake of it anyway. Where are you, Camberford? Where art thou? I've got so many maps. So many maps.
It's funny how Dave is whatever he's doing with the side of his computer. It looks like he's like moving things on the table in the background of his screen.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'll ignore all the gubbins that's around here. All the dead bodies and stuff. That's not been cleared up since the last fight.
I believe Draken's father happened.
Oh yeah, Draken's his father appeared. Okay, so yes, so Galandra, you have basically woken up you've woken up in a tower. You're lying in a bed. The last thing you remember is falling ill on the way back from Daisy's family's I think she's called Daisy. Daisy's family's farm. After the vampire, you basically you dealt with all the vampires. So I think that was the last time you were there. So you basically
Yeah, I left when the party split, I think. Oh no, was it before that?
No, you took off with the with some of the bits and pieces from Camberford, all the sort of the loot and stuff, though that has been spent, by the way.
Micah Dumfries.
Yeah, Micah Dumfries'
family.
Yeah. So you went there. So Daisy's his wife. Galahad, who's the child, she's sort of kind of named after you, and her mother and father, and they've taken off. You've fallen ill. They've taken you to Camberford, and you've woken up in the tower, in the sort of kind of south of the east of the map. You woke up. You're in a nightie. Your armor's sort of kind of sitting over on a chair. Huthway's Bane is sort of lying there as well. You open your eyes and you see Gregor sort of fast asleep beside you on
I'm glad he's not been killed.
on a chair. So Gregor sort of sat there on a chair, fast asleep, and the door opens, and Daisy enters, and she's like, "Oh, my lady, you're awake! You're awake! Quick, come! She's awake!" Gregor sort of kind of wakes up, and she's like, "Oh, my lady, oh, I'm so glad you're awake. I'm so glad that you're awake." And he sort of kind of, he gets a bit emotional and sort of kind of comes over and grabs you by the hand. Everybody sort of kind of comes in. Some of the monks who've been looking after you sort of come into the room and basically start pawing over you to make sure everything's right, okay, and stuff. They're sort of kind of looking in your eyelids and sort of kind of making sure that everything's sort of okay. Is there anything you want to say?
What the fuck happened? Someone get me a drink. Probably what I would say in that situation.
Yeah. So the Daisy says, "Right away, my lady," and she sort of kind of goes off and gets to get you a drink. Gregor then tells you about how you fell ill, how the sort of the dark, whatever was inside you, was manifesting and was going to kill you, and the only option was for you to die, for a ritual to take place, or what was the third? Was there another option? I think there was another option. I can't remember exactly what it was, but basically there was three options, and obviously them not wanting to kill you, the best option they went for was the ritual. The ritual wasn't it basically, yeah, well, it came out of you. So basically, what, remember that time when you were in the dream with you were in the dream with Val? So you and Val were in the tree, yeah. And at the end of that dream, you thought and then something lunged at you, and then you woke up.
Yes.
So you were basically impregnated by darkness, and it was going to sort of.
You.
Yes. In my defense, by the way, your whole pregnancy thing happened before I knew you were pregnant. It just coincided. We went, "Oh, I'm pregnant, by the way." Okay, I might want to write that out of the storyline, but okay. So yeah, the darkness sort of had impregnated you, but it was going to overtake you as a being. And let loose something quite terrible. The ritual went ahead, and they have basically got it out of you, but unfortunately it has been absorbed into Gibbon, who was one of the mages, an acquaintance of Thomas Moonstar. He is then he's using this power as teleported out of the area and got basically Draken's father, and they've basically attacked the fort. Some of the Dragonborn that were in the fort have turned. The Dirty Dozen, who were sort of some of the criminals and stuff, including Chaos Braid, have basically had a big fight. It's all been dealt with. Unfortunately, Val's mother, who was a healer, a druid healer, who we found out had the ability to turn into a dragon when she got angry, and she got angry. She turned into a I think I watched that episode when they had that revelation. Yeah, so she basically turned into a dragon, and she started laying waste to everybody. She nearly killed Lance. She killed Annabella, I think her name was, one of the Dirty Dozen. She killed a lot of the sort of people. It was just indiscriminate. She basically saw Val getting attacked, got rage, turned into a dragon, and started killing things. Thankfully, they didn't defeat her, but they managed to sort of, with Val sort of reviving, she sort of turned herself back into who she was. But with that, she had given in to her oath not to kill anything ever again. Because of that, the lady in black appeared and took her away. And so she's nowhere to be seen. Gibbon has taken Kiamat Red Scale, who is Draken's father, off somewhere currently unknown. The fort is currently being fixed. Its garrison is somewhat diminished now. You lost a couple of the monks in the attack, through to the including Cadfael, the main sort of monk. He sacrificed himself to help you. And I think that's it. So basically, some of the Dragonborn have. Oh yeah, sorry. The main. What was his name? What was the name of the lead Dragonborn? Who got killed?
Ulthrax.
Yeah, Ulthrax. Yeah. He got killed, and some of they've basically taken him off to Draken's homeland to be buried, because it's a part of their tradition. And so you have what's left. You have none of your friends are around, bar for Gregor and stuff. You have literally a lot of people you probably don't know. And just that's it. That's where you are.
I think I'll need another drink after doing all of that. If I've already got the first one in my hand.
Yeah, so she provides you, but it's non-alcoholic. She gives you some pollet to sort of help you with your you're still looking a bit cheapish, so she helps you with that.
I think some alcohol would help with that. Looking a bit cheaper. Would it not? I'll look at her and say, "Thank you for this one," and I'll go and get me a real drink.
But my lady, you're ill.
Am I still ill? Okay. The demon has been expelled from me. I'm pretty sure I need a drink.
Okay, so she says, okay, as you wish. So she goes off to the wine, to the whatever is sort of left of the wine cellar to get you get you some wine. Gregor is just sort of sitting there. He's just like overjoyed to the point of being overly emotional about being alive and stuff, because he honestly thought you were going to die, and he's being there. One of the monks tells you that he's been there pretty much the entire time. He hasn't left your side.
I will thank Gregor for his loyalty and kindness watching over me. I also ask him where everybody else is as well.
So he tells you that they've gone to Taunt to deal with what looks like a sort of a new cultist insurgency within Balon. This one may be slightly more serious than the one that you dealt with at Silkside, and Silkside was pretty bad.
How long ago did they leave?
But a day ago.
What in terms of provisions of what I've got, I can't remember whether I actually went onto my character sheet and when I gave them a few bits and bobs of whatever I had, I can't remember if I put that on my character sheet or not. So I don't know what I've got on me. I've basically got everything on me that I had on before.
Yeah, you should have
I've
everything.
got all of my armor and weapons.
Yeah, you'll have everything. You do fine. When you sort of wake up, you put your hand down beside you, and you pick up what looks like a piece of dark onyx, sort of like glass.
Do I know what it does or what it's for?
It's sort of it's smooth. It's gem-like, but it's sort of it's just sort of sitting on the bed beside you.
Gregor, what is this and why is it next to me?
Gregor sort of looks at it puzzled and says, "I have no idea, my lady. I've never seen it before."
Has it not been here the entire time I have been asleep?
He's completely confused. I don't think so. I don't know.
Do I have any sort of? Can I still like sense evil? And I used to be able to. But I don't know if it's been. Can I still do that?
I know Val has a thing. I'm not sure. Did you?
Might be able to as a cleric.
Yes. Bear with me 1 minute. It's been so long, Danny. Even I can't remember. Bear with me 1 minute. Where's your character? Where are you? Galandra. There you are. Okay, so you have I've got it on the dark theme on Roll20 now, which is much better. Dark Vision, Mask of the Wilds, Channel Divinity, Turn Undead, Channel Divinity, Preserve Life, Blessed, Divine Strike.
All the stuff at the bottom is new.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at what it does yet.
Disciple of Life, Frey Ancestry, Trumps.
I think it was because I had the evil inside
you
me.
did. It was that.
That was.
Yeah.
I think that was
Yeah,
I
that
could
was
sense
it.
stuff because I had darkness.
Yeah. So you've got no like that sickening feeling is no longer within you. You don't have any of that. No, you do feel much better. So much so that when you drink your alcohol, it affects you more than you usually affects you. Sort of, you're not sort of like it's not as it's a different feeling.
It would have if I'd not been drinking while giving birth.
Yeah. So it's sort of it's not the same. You used it to sort of basically quench or at least get rid of the feeling of that darkness that was within you, but it's no longer there anymore. So having that alcohol to sort of to deal with that situation seems a bit odd.
I pick up the stone thing, and if it's not doing anything or looking ominous at all, I'll put it in my bag or with my stuff. I'm going to tell Gregor to leave the room while I get dressed because if I'm in a nightie, I would like to return to my clothes. I'm assuming that I have now picked up or at least been given the basic clothes I had underneath my armor, considering I left my armor at Camberford. I left my undergarments at Camberford. When we were gallivanting around, I was just wearing armor, apparently.
Yeah. He said, he points over the closer. I can send in, I'll send in Daisy, my lady. I'll leave you now. So he sort of kind of, he turns around to you just before he leaves, and he says, I'm so glad you're alive, my lady. And he kisses your hand, and he bows, and he walks out.
Has he magically gained years, over the time I've been away, or he's still like a teenager.
He is still a teenager, but he's aged. He's aged with trauma. He's had to deal with a lot of stuff. And besides, and bear in mind, you did try to chat him up at one point in time.
Yeah, before I knew how old he was.
That doesn't stand up in court, Daniel. That doesn't stand up in court.
Daniel.
Hey, I didn't know. I didn't know.
Well, I think
Today on BBC News, paedophile.
Is the voice of experience, Matt?
No. Okay, so yeah, he kisses your hand and he sort of kind of walks out, and then Daisy comes in to help you sort of garb yourself and put on your armor. And she says, "Are you to leave us, my lady?"
Am I at full strength?
Yeah,
and everything? I'm fine?
there's no issues with you at this moment in time, no.
Okay. I think obviously kind of first I'll have a look around and the state of the state of camp before. So obviously there's been a battle. But obviously my goal is going to be to get back to the rest of my party. So I'll just say not right now, but I will be soon. Are they just kind of like servants at Camberford, or do they stay with me?
She is here she is your handmaid for all intents and purposes. She's here with her family, but she's there to look after you. So it's completely up to you where you put them and stuff.
Well, I am not a fan of carrying around, like having extra people around to kind of save and shield and whatnot. So, I think the road will be too dangerous for you and your family. So, if it is everything's fine with you, you can stay here, and I will find the rest of my party once I gain bearings of our ford.
Okay, so she's amenable to that. She says she needs to help with the with some of the wounded and to sort of help around the fort. But she's if you need her, just send word and she will be straight to your side.
That is good. I am afraid that once I get back to my normal character traits, that you may become cannon fodder. So let's just leave you here.
Okay, so
don't want to get the reputation back just yet.
Okay, so you basically look around the fort. You see that there's people walking around. Nobody's overly paying much attention to you. There's people fixing parts of the palisades that was broken. Dealing with dead bodies. Generally trying to fix the place up. There's
How
not
far away is Taunt from Camberford?
it's about half a day.
Oh right, okay, it's not that far.
So I'm going to assume you're just going to make your way to Camber. You're going to make your way to Taunt then.
Yeah, I mean I have no kind of other qualms with that at the minute. So yeah, once I kind of got everything and my armor and provisions, I'm assuming we still have some provisions at Camberford. Whatever I need for the road.
You're muted. I think your child's muted you.
No.
Okay, there you go. You're back. You're right. Okay.
Oh, that must have been weird. The gold I have on me right now, do I need to take that down from what everyone's used, or is that just the gold?
That's your personal. That's your personal gold.
Okay.
Everybody else has spent pretty much everything else though. they have gone. Yeah. They've all got nice shiny things. Right. So you make you sort of kind of you way to the gate of Taunt. You get a few nods from the guards, and then you start making your way. As you do, Gregor sort of kind of runs up behind you and stuff with his with this sort of kind of oversized sort of kind of shield and a sword and stuff like that, and starts walking beside you. You're muted again. Hello?
I'm
You-
not.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
Oh, you're muted.
Oh no, it's not. It's not.
What's going on?
Oh, we can hear you.
Is it every time I move my? I don't know what's going on.
That
I'm
seems
not
it,
muted.
that's, it. That's fine now.
Yeah,
Fine
fine.
now.
Has Gregor come with me to Taunt?
He's walking with you to Taunt. Yeah.
So I'll look at him and ask him if he's now, not officially part, but does he feel he can handle the pressures of being an official party member, an official adventurer?
He says, "My lady, I saved your." He says, "My lady, I saved Salden's life on the bridge on Falcross Bridge. I was there at Silkside. I was beside your bed the entire time during the ritual. No, I was a part of the ritual. Everywhere you go, I go to."
I suppose you have proven your worth. Yeah, that. Suppose you have proven your worth, and I just kind of solemnly carry on walking forward and let him carry on.
Okay. So you sort of kind of go, all right then, and then sort of, you're quite aloof with them and stuff. I think that sort of makes him sort of want to sort of kind of prove himself more. But he sort of kind of, as you sort of kind of literally just walk off, and he's sort of like carrying, you're looking at this sort of quite lanky child, teenager who's sort of kind of carrying armor. It's, stuff that's a bit too much for him. But he sort of kind of runs after you. He runs after you as you make your way off to Taunt.
Is it half a day? How is it half a day walking or half a day on a horse?
Half a day on a horse. You got. We'll say you've got sort of there's a carriage that'll take you there and stuff. So it's not a massive issue.
I will say now that if your plan is to make me love Gregor even more and then kill him off, there's no point whatsoever. So it's not going to make me cry. So just don't bother.
Oh, Danny, you have no idea. You have no idea. It's going to be whoop-ham, whoop-ah. We'll see.
But you could give my own child a character in this thing and kill him off, and it's still not going to shake me.
Okay. Right. Gregor's always been with you, though. He's always been around. The only time he's not been around is because you forgot about him, but he's always been there. Just sort of, he's there. So.
Speaking of which, where's Mule Brenner?
Yeah, I forgot about Mule Brenner.
Jacket.
Yeah. Okay. So, you sort of go off, and we'll go back to the inn. So the rest of you, let me. Do that. Oh, what the hell is that? Popped up instead. Right. Okay. So, is there a picture of a tavern flying around here? Anywhere? Sure, I had a tavern somewhere.
Also, I'm assuming that in the time that Tharavel and the rest of the group have actually been back together, they have informed each other as to what has actually happened, because I was just sort of thinking, I don't think we ever actually said to the other party members about, like, the battle at Camber Ford or about the ship.
Yeah, so you'll sort of kind of let each other know what's happened and what's gone on as you sort of kind of made your way back, or being sat in the fort, because you were there for a few days, weren't you? I think actually that time changes. So we'll say Danny they had left a couple of days, so Danny will arrive effectively, or sort of Galandra will arrive as you arrive at the inn. Basically, she'll be there. I can't find the inn thing. I'll just stick this down instead. Nope, that's not it.
Like a brothel.
It looks like a brothel. Oh, it's all my ocean maps. What would we need them for? Oh my god, where is it? I'm just gonna stick this on. It's not, it's the little tent thing, but we're just gonna say that's part of the opulence of the hotel you're in, just so Okay, so you make your way back to the hotel. As you sort of kind of walk in the door, you see Lady Taunt, who is sort of kind of sitting, poring over sort of documents and things, obviously from the delegation that are who are still there at this moment in time. Anything? Anybody? Lady Taunt's there. You've got a prisoner.
See, Mark usually takes the lead.
Yeah.
Okay. Jack
Do we
takes
not?
the-
So we've got a prisoner, don't we?
You do have a prisoner,
Jack
yes.
stomps forward and goes, I have found someone that is like to leave more about what's happening.
By the way, your microphone sounds a bit echoey there, Pete.
Yeah. Try again. Is that better?
Yeah, you're good.
That's it.
Sorry.
Okay, so she's like, Master Dragonborn, who do we have here?
Jack nudges the prisoner because Jack can't remember the name, to just say, tell her your name.
Oh god, what was his name? We did name him, but I can't remember what his...
Did we?
Yeah, we did, because I asked him, I remember, but I didn't make a note of it.
I didn't write his name down because I didn't think it was really of any massive sort of note.
Especially considering we were going to kill him. So.
Yeah, so it was just like... yeah, so he gives you his name, his name, and doesn't say anything else.
And more importantly, who do you work for?
He sort of kind of hisses at you. Oh, actually, no, he can't.
Jack can hiss it.
No, do you know what? He can't say anything because you've gagged him.
Oh, we removed his tongue, didn't we?
No, did you
No, we
remove?
didn't.
You didn't.
No.
You
We were
gagged.
going to, but
We wanted to
didn't.
remove his
We were gonna take
tongue,
his
and then we
jaw, that
wanted
was
to
it.
remove his jaw, and then we wanted to kill him, and then Draken stopped us from doing it all.
So,
Okay.
you gagged him so he doesn't scream. Remember, he does that thing. He can knock everybody
Uh-huh.
out. So he sort of,
Apart from Jack so far.
yeah. So he's not saying anything because you've gagged. He kind of goes.
He's a written.
My lady, can we have use of some parchment and some ink? We dare not.
You know what he's. You don't have to. He doesn't need to tell him. You can tell her
Oh,
because
suppose, yeah.
you know what's going on. So.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
So basically, you tell her, about, what's happening, what the cultists are up to, the plot to basically, to destroy Balon.
Oh yeah, and the Kraken eggs.
Yeah, so the eggs are being sort of left around all the water sources and stuff in Balon, and how there is potentially a catalyst for their awakening, and how this is going to stem from potentially Kibarath. So, she's very worried. Also, obviously, you find out about her father.
Oh,
So, do you remember what the score is with her father?
Yeah, he'd been kidnapped by the pirates, hadn't he? Or at least we've been led to believe he's been kidnapped by pirates.
Or killed?
yeah.
Or
Yeah.
killed.
We told her that already.
Did we?
Did you?
Did we?
Yeah, because,
Oh,
because
yes, you did, yeah.
She sent us off.
Yeah, that's right.
To
You
find
did.
out.
Yeah, you did.
So
yeah.
we basically don't know what's actually happened to him. As of yet.
Yeah. Okay. So, she looks quite sort of. She starts musing, and she says, "We have no time to delay. We must deal with this situation before it gets worse. Kibarath must be neutralized." And one of her sort of guard captain Anders turns up and she says, "My lady, your father took most of the sort of able men, and we have no naval. We don't have many worthy naval fleet ships to make an assault on Kibarath."
What about smugglers?
Didn't
Yeah,
we? Oh, sorry. Go on.
They are adept at evading capture, at being discreet.
What would you suggest, Master Dragonborn?
Offer them amnesty in exchange for services rendered. They have their slate wiped clean from that point on.
So we are to find privateers to aid us in our assault on Kibarath.
What else would you
Yeah,
recommend?
Thought have we not spoken to the harbor master, and basically he said that he was going to get a crew together, and we were or was he going to get a ship and we needed to find a crew?
Yeah, he was going to try and get you a small ship so you could sort of do some reconnaissance.
But that is only one ship.
Yeah, we need ships.
You obviously have your own ship, which is
Didn't we
currently
find the,
unnamed.
The
Legitimate
signals and
salvage.
stuff they use to get.
I've got a
through.
name for the ship.
What's it
So
called?
technically, we could. Okay, never mind. Oh, wait.
Athlon's honor.
Athlon's honor.
So it's after their father.
I'm gonna write that down, Bertha. Not ship. Okay. Sorry, what were you saying, Val?
Don't we have like information on the signals they use to identify friendly ships?
You
So
do.
we can just sneak there if we manage to get one ship and like one crew.
So that is an option. Yep.
Another option would be to get said ship and load up to the gills with explosive materials. Then cast delayed cast fireball and fireball on it at the same time when it's in the enemy's dock. Does that work?
But we could reclaim those ships.
We still need to find. I think we actually need to find. We need to follow the path of Triarch Hunt, to find actually what his status is. From what I remember, his ship had moved to, was it Arkover, down the west coast to collect more troops, and then was heading to the front. and that's at the point where we gone missing. So I thought the plan was to get a small sort of smuggler ship, fast smugglers ship, and a crew, and follow the tracks of them and find, basically sort of find the fate of Triarch Tunt. So I thought we were heading the Arkover direction via ship. Well, at least that's the plan.
Let's see if I can
That's a good plan.
find. Yeah. So
What's Arkover? Sorry.
yeah, I go over. So he's basically made his way down the west coast, and he's gone missing in and around sort of in and around where Agover is, or that's where he was. Well, basically that's where he was going, and he's disappeared. There.
So that is something that Lady Tunt didn't know. That's information that we found out after we had told her that
Yeah.
he'd gone missing.
Yeah.
So that was basically, that's the last sort of whereabouts that we found out.
On this, are there any scrying spells that you have? Locate person.
No, nothing that would be useful in this instance.
Locate object.
Not part of my current repertoire, I'm afraid.
As you are talking amongst yourselves about this, the door opens and a figure walks in. A figure walks in. Lady Taunt's eyes brighten up, and she sort of pushes past you and runs over to this figure and says, "Lady Aglandra, you live." And she gives you a big hug.
Oh, just a hug. Wow.
I embrace Lady Taunt. And stop trying to press buttons. Oh, and I say, I can survive many things, Lady Taunt. I was told the rest of my party were out this way, so here I have come, alongside my
Squire.
I was gonna say squire, but he's done pretty much more than a squire does, really.
He was technically knighted by Solden, so he is
The
technically
man at arms.
He is technically a knight, inverted commas, though he's probably not a very good knight.
The amount of training this kid's had just from pure experience, like he should be pretty dab hand.
Yeah, he hasn't done loads, to be honest. He's just been around. The Silkside was just.
Was he not in any of the battles?
He was. So the bridge, the Battle of Falcross Bridge, he basically stabbed the guy who was about to kill Solden, but got hurt badly himself. And that's when he was in bed, and you tried to come on to him.
That was before I knew he was 16.
And then he was at Silkside, and he was.
I lived in the camp before, though, when we were doing all the activities, and he was like supposed to train and stuff.
Yeah, well, it's only been. The thing is, it's only been a month. Technically, probably about a month, maybe 2 months and stuff in the grand scheme of things. So it's not a massive time. So he's done some basic training, but he's not going to be great in a fight. Basically, he sort of, I think as he I haven't character sheeted him and stuff, but he'll probably be like a level 3 or 4. I think probably.
Okay.
So he sort of kind of walks in and sort of he's sort of like, as he sees the rest of you, sort of like straightens himself up, but as he does it, is sort of like his sword falls out of its scabbard slightly, and his sort of shield's a bit too big for him, and he's sort of, trying to act cool, but failing very miserably. Lady Taunt, you know, you don't know. She's got a few tears in her eyes, and it's not because of obviously you don't know if it's about you or if it's about the fact that her father but she seems happy that you're alive and there.
I smile at Lady Taunt, and say, "Shall we?" And I walk over to the rest of the party.
You're so cool. You're so cool, man. You should do that to Tom. You should do that to Tom. Just sort of kind of walk, shall we? And then walk upstairs.
You act like we don't do that on the regular, like just taking the piss, doing stuff like that. He does that all the time.
Shall we?
Tonight we ride.
Tonight we ride. Okay, so you sort of kind of walk over to your party, who obviously in our grand scheme of things, it's been 9 months nearly. To them, it's been a couple of weeks, a week maybe. Is it about a week, 2 weeks, something like that?
Since I left it, how long did it take them to get back to camp before and after I left?
Yeah, it's probably been about 2 weeks, probably, in the grand scheme of things. So you're there, you're awake. They there you go. Do your thing, your party thing.
Appen kneels down before Galandra. It is good to have you back.
It is good to be back.
Is it hard to get back into the RP, Danny? Is it feeling really weird right now?
It is, especially with a child attached to me.
Okay, so you tell Galandra about everything that's happened. She's basically up to date on everything that's sort of gone on.
I'll watch the next couple of episodes and remember everything about whatever you've been doing.
Yeah. So from that point on, you're basically discussing what to do in this situation. Oh, so obviously, you get introduced to Ceravel, Galandra. Ceravel is Tharavol's twin brother, who he's been trying to find. He sort of he looks at you, nods, gives you a bow. My lady, it is my honor to meet you. My brother
We're not allowed to
speaks.
use that accent anymore.
It's not a Russian accent.
I'm changing them to Irish.
They're Irish. Oh.
Yes, they're Irish.
They're Irish. Oh, my lady. Ah, right, okay.
How you have to put on an Irish accent.
I know, it's weird. Well, it's just like even when I do jump, it's right, big man. I have to put on. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep with because I'm just used to it. So, my lady, Tharvol speaks very highly of you. It is my pleasure. And he sort of bows.
The pleasure is all mine. We have heard many things about you also. I want, this is kind of like not directly to him, but I want to ask about them. Didn't he have a family, or is that a sore subject?
Oh, his Tharavol's family. He's obviously the brother of
Ceravel's.
Ceravel. He's married. He is married to Solden's sister.
Yes, I was just because obviously I haven't heard anything about Solden's. Was she pregnant as well? No,
not that they know of.
Oh. No, I've just got Prince of the Brain.
Math's just going to add that in now, isn't he?
For some reason, I thought that was in there for some reason. That's fine. Just because obviously I heard about that, but I didn't know whether she died at some point or do I mention it or not. Like, that's fine. Yeah, I've heard many great things about you also. I heard it was a great journey to find you. Is he now? Is he like a current part of our party now?
He is currently a part of your party, yes.
I look forward to working alongside you, like we're in a freaking office, but you know what I mean.
We'll meet at the water cooler and we'll talk.
I look forward to to seeing you use that easy an archer.
Yeah.
Whatever weapon he's got.
He's pretty
Pretty much you.
very, very similar to to Tharaval. Some minor differences, but yeah, I think he's a bit stealthier and a bit more charismatic.
I'd like to see you give Tharaval a run for his money.
He sort of he smirks and he says, "Well, my lady, we've always been competitive with others, but I've always had the upper hand, haven't I?" As he sort of smacks Tharaval on the back.
I'd like to say backside then.
I see you haven't changed much since we were boys. I have to put you in your place, brother.
He laughs and yeah, okay. So now we're basically you're discussing with Lady Taunt. She's got she says we takes you to a one of the sort of one of their main sort of rooms within the hotel. Captain Anders comes with her, some of the lieutenants. She basically says we need to get help from Suburn and Agover. She also says that we need to deal with this situation quickly, or things could get very bad for Balon. We need to find my father.
We will do everything in our power to find your father, my lady.
She says, I know this to be true, but the sooner I know this to be true, but at this moment in time, speed is of the essence, and we need to have a plan sooner rather than later. I appreciate that. I appreciate this is now my responsibility, but I am not ashamed to say I feel slightly out of my depth. My father was a great man who dealt with everything, and I have no experience of command. Well, she
I'm sure the ropes of command, my lady.
All right.
You're taking things in. You know, I'm just being very subtle, and you're just taking things that way. That's not my fault.
Okay. So basically, how do you want to go about this and stuff? You can make some sort of views on things. I'll throw in some stuff on her behalf if needs be. But how do you want to deal with this situation?
Does Lady Tom have someone who can scry?
What are you trying to find?
Hunt himself.
Oh, to see if he's alive?
Locate person, something like that, or...
Well, she says she doesn't. There is at the Flame Fort. It can't be at the Flame Fort because he's dead, isn't he? The main mage, he died, didn't he? He died in the at the meeting.
Got poisoned.
Yeah, at the meeting. Okay, so he says there, maybe one of the local mages may be able to. But she says, I feel we may need to pray. And she looks at Val, and she says, Sir Valashul, might I ask you for some help in praying to our Lord Bahamut on our behalf?
Of course. Trying to think of like some sort of religious ceremony we could do, but I guess praying right now would be fine.
She's like, we maybe if he's in our favor, he can let us know if my father lives or not. Yeah. Okay. So she takes you by the hand, and she sort of puts she lights a sort of a candle, and she sort of kneels down with you, and starts to pray. Now roll me a religion, and you can have an advantage on it. Oh, nice. Okay.
Did I get it?
Yeah. 23. Okay, so you both start to pray. As you do, the room starts to fill with the sound of birds tweeting. And as you sort of open your eyes, an old man sits at the bar with a with the sort of with his birds sort of feeding them some seed. Everybody else has disappeared. It's just you and Lady Taunt.
Okay. Valashul walks up and sits beside his god, I guess. And it's the same bar, yeah?
Yeah.
Are we in a bar?
You're
Okay.
you're in the. It's basically it's like in there's lots of little bars in the hotel. It's just kind of one of the
Okay.
bars that's there. Yeah.
Valashul coyly asks, "What are you drinking, my lord?"
He
My lord. Lord.
the by the way, actually, in fact, do you want in on this prayer? By the way, Galandra.
Do you want to come chill in Holy Land?
The baby's currently trying to eat the laptop. Have this one.
Okay. So, all right. So, you both sort of you go over, and the old man, sort of chuckles to himself slightly at the joke, and he turns to you and says, Master Nostius, you have the wit of your father. What is it you need of me?
I need to know if Lord Taunt survives. Or has survived.
He looks at Lady Taunt, who is completely. She's met this guy. She's met the old man before, not knowing kind of who he was, but sort of now understands who he embodies. She's sort of sobbing at what could potentially be the response to this. He sort of puts the birds down onto the bar side as they sort of peck away at the seed, and walks up to Lady Taunt, who's kneeling down beside him, and he takes her by the hands and says, stand, Lady Taunt. I knew, and he says to her, I knew when I gave you your life when you were a child that you would prove yourself. I'm just going to do it, Neil. I knew when I chose you as a child that you were going to prove yourself. and you tell me you have no, you say you have no command. You say you are scared, but you won the Battle of Falcross Bridge. You set the pirates aside while your friends took Silkside. You have kept this land from the darkness. You have more strength than you that you know. As for your father, you will be glad to know he lives. But for how long I do not know, and for what purpose he lives, I am afraid it is beyond my sight. You must, though, make sure this land does not fall. If it falls, all of Freya will fall. This place is the second front that they need to take us all. You must stop it, or we are all doomed. He sort of takes his hands away and walks past Val, sort of pats him on the shoulder, and sits down at the bar again.
I should then.
You don't want to say anything else?
I'm trying to think of what else I could ask him.
What are the winning lottery numbers?
Yeah.
How do we find them, and where are they?
Yeah. Well, we kind of know where they are, surely. Like.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Valashul asks him, where does this darkness originate from? In the north.
He says, my old foe, Slackrofel, is on the rise. She, my sister, has made a dark alliance with him, one that she does not understand, because he is just as powerful. But they, together, will destroy this land. And if he rises, then we have no hope with both of them against us. Kiberath must be taken. His ascension must be stopped. And I'm afraid it's not going to be an easy task for you. And I can only limit what I can do for you. My powers are weak around all of this darkness.
Then hopefully we can see to it that your strength is returned. How many other enemies are there that could unify alongside them?
My enemies are many. My enemies are many. Unfortunately, those who could help choose not to. Ogma, the creator of this land, chooses to sit on the sidelines and watch it burn, either one way or another. I have cast for help from other of my brethren, but few have taken to the cause. It may just be down to us, I'm afraid.
Then so be it. We will cleanse the darkness from this land and renew your strength. Or die trying.
He bows his head, and he touches your spear. Which he touches your spear. He touches your spear, which increases with honor points, so you can up that. What are you on at the minute, by the way?
I think I spent some, and I was down to 5. So
no, because it basically you.
Oh, does it keep going?
It keeps on going.
If I use them?
Yeah,
okay.
it keeps going. It's basically so. So the way it works is at 5 you get this, at sort of 15 you get this, at 50 you get this. But if you do
Okay.
dishonorable things, it knocks them down, and then you
Yeah.
start as soon as it starts going below that, then you start getting negative effects.
Well, I was only at the first tier anyway, so
Okay. No, because you got an increased
The
stat,
increase.
and then you got a boon, which was a resistance, wasn't it? You got a resistance.
an extra resistance. Okay, so what is that? 2 tiers, I guess.
You're on your second. So what's your how many points have you got altogether?
I've not kept track. I've only recently started taking notes.
Awesome. Okay. Let me see. Let me just check your spear. Bear with me 1 minute.
I was having a long track record of having a good memory,
Yeah.
and then we stopped for
Yeah.
a while.
What's press your spear, just so I can have a quick read of the gubbins.
The spear of
Yeah,
There it
that's
is.
it. Okay, so
oh
there you go.
25.
So property spear gains 1 more random minor benefit. Right. Okay. So you've got 10. That's right, because you did a random one. All right.
Mhm.
So you're up to 20 at the minute. So I think you've got you're up to 20. So another 5, and you can have a random effect on there as well. Or you can have one you can choose at 50, but make sure you note that there's a thing on your sheet
Okay.
that tells you how many honor points you've got. So you're on 20 at this moment in time. Your character sheet should have an honor point system on the front page as well and stuff, and how many honor points and stuff you have.
Oh yeah. So how many? I'm on 20.
You're on 20, yeah. So you're on 20. So 5 more, you can have a random minor beneficial, or if you wait for 50, you can choose what it is. So he does that, and he says one last thing before you leave. I would suggest you acquire help from some of the surrounding lands. I appreciate this will not be an easy task, and you will need to run the risk of these Sakarat's henchmen from destroying your ships. But the only way Balin will survive is by getting help from the surrounding kingdoms.
The affairs of mortals are fickle in nature. Who holds sentiment towards our cause?
All have fear of the darkness, but its tendrils reach deep into the pockets and the minds of mortals. You may need to persuade some to come to your side. Others will come willingly. Who they are, I cannot tell you. You must find that yourself.
As you say, my lord. And Valashor bows his head. And then, I guess, awaits to be dismissed.
He as you sort of he says before you sort of kind of turn to go, and he says Valashor, it may come to the time that you will need to deal with your mother. I want you to understand that in her current incarnation, she is not who you remember her to be. I must know that you will do what is needed to be done if the situation comes.
I have always done what's necessary for the cause. For you to question that now is just insulting.
He laughs. He laughs. he laughs. You hear the birds sort of tweeting very loudly, and you both sort of open your eyes. It's been a couple of seconds from when you close them, but obviously, Galandra downs 2 bottles of wine. So you wake up, and you can tell the rest what you've heard or no, yeah.
I explain what has happened because I cannot recite it word for word. Yeah, Valashul turns to the others and explains how the meeting went with Bahamut.
Okay, so he tells you what's happened. He tells you Bahamut's sort of, or the old man's advice on what's going on. Lady Taunt is very happy her father is still alive, but worries that he is being used as bait.
So they've set a trap for us. I suggest we spring their trap.
Sound of that.
She says that our Lord Bahamut has suggested we seek help from other lands. I'm sure I can get some of these diplomats to gain support for ships and men. But we will need safe passage to their respective. We'll need safe passage to their respective areas. So basically, you've got diplomats from pretty much every corner of Freya, for all intents and purposes. You now have to decide if you're going to use any of them to help, and then how you're going to do that, or if you're going to take yourself off and do other things to sort of do that. So basically, I just need.
Do these diplomats have they seen what the darkness can do, like the levels of like evil that can?
Yeah, so it's a lot, especially the ones in the in the south are very aware, are maybe a bit more pliable, but like Bahamut has said, or the old man has said, the darkness, obviously, how trustworthy these people are, you don't know who's in whose pocket, and there's balls going, so it's completely up to you how you want to deal with this. If you want to go, there's lots of different options to do this. Bear in mind, there is other bits and pieces. I think what was there was the mage in the market district said he had something for you, didn't he? If you could find his friend.
Yeah, his friend Eduardo or someone, Eldrador.
Eldrador in Dry Harbour has runic tools.
In Dry Harbour over in the west.
It's under to make a trinket for Thomas.
Yeah.
So, it's up to you. You've got basically, let's see if I can find a map. I've got names for these things in a bigger map. I haven't finished them all off, but I can find just a bigger map of Freya so you can see.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
So clear drawings, clear. Yeah, so this is Freya. Obviously, you're in Balon, which is you're here. That's staying in red. Obviously, this is Kiberath here. Cragmere. You've basically got Cragmere, which is sort of human. You've got Kyrelia, which is the Empire, effectively, which is like here and over here. You've got the sort of two orders here. So you've got the Order of the Morning Star and the Order of the Waning Moon here. You've got what's left of Elathia, which is the Elven Kingdom here. You've got where Galandra's from, which name I can't remember off the top of my head.
Was the diplomat from Kyrelia the one that was poisoned?
Yeah, the Karelian one was poisoned.
Would it make sense to go to them first then?
Yeah, you've got Al Zaharak, which is basically mercantile sort of nation down here. You've got another sort of mercantile one down here. You've got basically, Norse things here and here. Then you have Dwarven kingdoms here and here. Then you have a reservation there, and you have a reservation like there. So yeah, you've got a fair few sort of things. Bear in mind how long it takes for these things, sort of for people to get there, do their thing, and come back again. So it's up to you. Lady Taunt says maybe the Dwarven kingdoms, Cragmere and Kyrelia, are better options as they are closer by. We don't have the time to send for help from the southern kingdoms, especially the ones who are currently engaged with the what's the name? I've forgotten the name of it. The corruption in the south.
Can I suggest, if we can get the diplomats on side to draft a letter to their lands, we could perhaps investigate Flamefort and see if we can send... Is it dragons that go from there?
Oh no, sorry. So they're dragon towers. They're called dragon towers. So basically, each one has effectively a seer in it, and it's like you can fast travel, effectively, for a price, or you can send messages, effectively like having sending stones from one to the other.
I think it might be worth investigating that option to get the word there faster, to see if they can, rather than travel to each of these places individually, will take weeks if not months, whereas we could do this in days if we send word via the dragons or the seers.
Well, I think getting the word out to as many places as possible, but obviously, there's going to be the places closer by would actually be able to have forces to at our disposal sooner rather than later. So say for the likes of Elathia, it's sort of like down the bottom right hand corner on the front line basically.
Mm-hmm.
If they were to send people, they would maybe not arrive until later on.
And
but that being said,
we draw them away from fighting the corruption right on the front there.
Didn't the seer who owned that tower die though?
Yeah, so that tower doesn't have a seer at this moment in time.
Flamefort, is it?
Yeah, Flamefort. He died. So he was the one who helped poison the Kyrelian diplomat. And he died as well.
So what you're saying is there's a load of knowledge in that tower.
That hopefully you might be able to do something with.
Knowing
But providing that you aren't able to, it might be a wasted effort.
No, indeed.
Is it worth speaking to all these gathered diplomats here to sway them to our side and have their respective nations dedicate resources
Yeah,
to
but
the fight?
again, but like you said, even if you could persuade them, Lady Taunt. Oh, sorry, so as much as we, I have talked to these, and in principle, they will, they're going to send men to the front. I am now to tell them that they don't want to send men to the front, and they are to send men to me and Balon away from the front. These diplomats are prickly at best. If I tell them that I've changed my mind, I'm afraid they may think me weak, or my cause, or the cause not one to back. We may
Then
need
perhaps to save your face, we can have those conversations for you.
Have the Dragonborn dedicated any?
In her drunken slur, Galantra can hear the stop noise of crying babies in her head.
Have the Dragonborn dedicated anything towards this battle?
No. They obviously they sent some men to Camber Ford, of half of which are dead now. But
yeah, but that was like through Draken's.
there are orcs as well. There are orc reservations too. In between. I'll need to get.
In exchange for granting Dragonborn land.
Let me get on the. Let me just get this for everyone. What's it called? What's the name of the site I usually? World Anvil. World.
Yeah.
Anvil. Oh. Let me just get on screen here. Oh, it's been a while since I've been in here. There we go. Boss, why? 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 Freya. 1495. IME. I just want to see it. How does one see it? Home. No, world. Oh, B world. That'll be that one, won't it? Okay. I've got it up here. Alright, there we go. So people at home will be able to see this. You guys, unless you're on the thing, won't be able to see it. So let me put the regions on. So you've got Vimbor in the north, which is basically that arrow-shaped sort of thing on the map. You can see Vimbor. In fact, I will tick these off.
You can actually click on the map in World Anvil. I don't know, it doesn't have the sections sort of right out, but it's got all the wee markers for.
Yeah, but if you go on the right hand, if you go into World Anvil, you go on the right hand side and you press regions. It shows you the regions. So everybody at home can see it. Let me just. So you got Dunown is basically where Galandra's from. That's in the sort of right. Elathia is where sort of Ceravel and Tharavel are from. Belmore and Asawa. Belmore's basically effectively where Thomas is from. You've got Kyrelia, which is the main empire. Then you've got reservations. The Zugos reservation is an orc reservation. Whereas, what's it called? Olsey is where Draken's from. This Sonus, Citra, and Al-Zaharak are sort of kind of mercantile nations. Us and Hemph are Norse nations. They're in the north. You've got Ornlo and Cornun and Vimbor are dwarven nations, and they're in the north. Cragmere is obviously an offshoot of Kyrelia. Galandra very quickly gets Gregor to tell the party that she's incapacitated and needs to sleep it off, so she would need go anywhere and accompany wherever the party decides, being carried by Gregor or in the horse and cart if needs be. Galandra is glad to be back with the party, but doesn't want to push her drunken luck with these crying voices in her head. You can sober her up for her opinions on matters when she awakes next week's session. Okay. Cool. All right. We'll see you later, Galandra / Danny.
Night, night, baby.
Night, night.
Good night.
Night, night. Right. Okay. So, Galandra's drunk and off. Pete is frozen.
Yes.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, on our screen you have, with a big high five.
Oh, there we go. You're back to
It's sorted.
and he's back in the room.
Let me move some things around. People are in the wrong place again. This dog, always, like having a child. Breath a minute. Where is Dave meant to be? You're there. You're there. Right. And you're there. Okay. So, between yous, have a quick sort of chat about this. I'm just going to get this dog in before he destroys my door.
Fair enough.
Here's an idea. How about asking for a Dragonborn army in exchange for the Dragonborn having their own nation? Their own dedicated land. They've only got reservations, but actually...
Well, I was going to say it would be a hard thing to agree, but we've got all the diplomats in the right place, haven't we?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm back.
We've got
But also,
situation.
like, what's the population of the Dragonborn like? Do you really want to recruit all of them and then have them go to war? And
Not
then
all
make
of
you
them,
even
no.
smaller. I mean, yeah, but I'm just thinking in terms of, like,
Yeah.
they're like a fighting warrior race, so a lot of them would put themselves forward anyway, surely.
Yeah, but it's either that or we lose.
Again, bear in mind distances, time, stuff like that. That being said, you know,
I suggest we send word straight away to our closest allies, as they'll be the quickest to respond. That doesn't mean that we can rule out or seek out other means of reinforcements or anything like that. They may appear at a later date, but again, you know, it just sort of depends how long or how quickly this sort of evil moves. But at the minute, I think as far as Cragmere is concerned, we need something pretty much, quick and fast.
so your closest areas is going to be like Cragmere and Bornlo. Vimbor is sort of to your east. Kyrelia is going to be pretty close to Kiberath, so it's going to be slightly harder. Cornum, again, is a dwarven kingdom in the very north, which is possible. So,
Well, I mean, I would say if we're in Taunt, Bornlo is literally the closest place to us.
okay, you don't all have to. So it's completely up to yourselves. How do you sort of if you all want to go one place, you want to go multiple places. Again, how are you going to do this?
Well, we have got all the diplomats here.
We have. I'm thinking back to the last time we crossed the water. We were all on one ship, and it took all of us to survive that journey. I'm loath to have fewer of us on one ship, where we could potentially fall foul of.
I don't think we want to split up. I think we need to kind of talk to get the diplomats on board here, and then have them go home via the Dragon Towers.
No, right. So the Dragon Tower doesn't have its seer anymore. You can't send anybody anywhere at the minute using the Dragon Tower.
Okay, scratch that. But yeah, but basically get the diplomats home.
The problem is that technically Cragmere, the forces at Cragmere are cutting off any supplies or ships or anything that are moving to Balon, so they need anything that's sort of going in or trying to move into Balon or move out of it needs to be escorted.
So basically, you've got you've got the signals. So you can blockade run, and you don't at this moment in time you don't know how many ships are out there. You don't know what's true and what's false. So Lady Top basically says maybe you should try and get some intelligence on what we are facing.
I suggest that our first protocol would be to escort the diplomats of Bornlo to their home. It is the closest. It'll be the quickest crossing, and possibly, might just give us an idea of, sort of what the resistance is like from a Cragmere.
Okay, so Lady Taunt says, if we have to be quite subtle with this. If one goes home and the others are not, there may be issues. All these diplomats insist on leaving to go back to their respective masters. If we send one and not the rest, it could cause problems with the work I have done to get resources for the front.
Is there any way that we can... So my sort of train of thought is that we want to release all the diplomats. We want them to maybe basically have a letter written by Lady Taunt for all of them to all of their, respective countries or areas. But we maybe want to try and lead the enemy into the thought that they're all on the same ship. So they may try and get another attack again, when maybe we only have one diplomat on said ship, but all of us on it.
And with our limited resources, to remove any thoughts of favoritism or prioritization, we could perhaps suggest a lottery to them, where the first people off the island will be down to chance and not down to any other choice.
Well, I think it's more of, like, my idea was kind of thinking it's more of misdirection, where we send the diplomats. The diplomats are going back to their respective countries with a letter, but if we can possibly somehow plant a letter saying that all the diplomats are going to
I see you.
a single
I see you.
place
And try and draw
when
them out,
it's
draw
and
the
try and-
enemies.
Well, basically
one
try
place.
and it basically gets the enemy to focus on that one ship while the rest of the diplomats can. I mean, that's an idea. Again, how effective that's going to be, I don't know.
If you, Lady Taunt sort of kind of ponders your idea, and says, if they come in force, there is no way that even you can deal with that. If they have multiple ships, or even more of those Krakens, I don't see how it would be suicide.
I don't see what we are to do. If we try and leave with one diplomat to go to their home, the other diplomats will want to leave, and therefore we're going to have multiple ships getting attacked in multiple places.
If we concentrate the enemy in one area.
The only way we can do it is if we're going on our own without a diplomat.
She says you need a diversion, and we can send smaller ships with even with codes to it may be best to send and she sort of gets a map out. Let me just sort of this. Go back to this map here. Clear. Where the hell is it? Oh, that's light. That's why. Good. Clear drawings. Okay. So freehand, and we'll go for red. Okay, so it's going to be easier to send a diplomat to Cragmere and to Bonelow, even to Vimbor, and she suggests that maybe you could send the Cragmerian, Sutran, and Os. So basically split up the diplomats into separate sort of ones. So the ones from the western, the ones from the eastern side would go via Vimbor. The ones on the eastern side would go via Cragmere, and then obviously the northern ones would go by Bunlow. So you've basically got three sets of diplomats going to their respective places via these areas. Instead of going through all the waterways to get them back, so they would go through these places to sort of get back to their respective lands.
How do we know that they using those routes can be successful, and what can we do to sort of make
she says
diversions?
Your idea of a diversion seems like a good idea, but it would need to be a big enough diversion to attract enough attention away from those areas. At this moment in time, we don't know who's in and around these waters anyway, So we have no intel. We haven't done anything to sort of know what's going on around here. We would need that anyway. But if it is the case where these areas are infested, then we'd need a big enough diversion in the south to attract them. We'd also need support with these diplomats to make sure they get there safely. And back again with any supplies that would be provided for us. In short, I'm sort of getting at, you need diversion. You need to get these sets of diplomats there. Make sure that they are doing what they need to do, and then sending stuff back. You can be there if you want, or you can let them go and see what happens. It's up to you.
What could be a diversion would be us attacking that where Taunt is being held.
Kibarath.
They're distracted. Thank you, Kibarath. And whilst their attention's focused on us hacking away, the diplomats can make their return home.
So you're suggesting an assault on Kibarath with you guys? Just the 5 years? 6 years?
Sounds fair to us.
If we infiltrated rather than full frontal assault using the signals, it could work.
Okay.
Maybe I'm being hopeful.
Just tell the others to wait for the signal, which is like the loud bangs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we could technically, if they've got a harbour there, we could try and sabotage their ships and then escape.
Plus, there's the ships that they've taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do a
'Cause we've got
sabotage.
gunpowder, right?
You could do a sabotage mission if you want to. Give you a bit more time.
I was thinking.
And also, we would
That
be able
got
to sort of
Beastie Boys
discover
going
the
for
fate of Lord Tunt and possibly rescue him.
Rescue
and
sabotage and rescue.
Ciravel says, and my wife, brother.
And yes, and his wife, sorry. Apologies.
So could we not mobilize some thieves to join us in this raid? We'll need all the people that are like capable of stealth. And whoever's left of the Dirty Dozen, I suppose, could join in. Last-ditch effort to redeem themselves. Suicide mission.
Suicide Squad.
It's going to be basically a Dieppe raid. A Dieppe raid.
Raid of Saint Nazaire.
Okay, so Lady Taunt says, explain. So, are you going to get one ship? Are you going to get multiple ships? What does she need to do? All right, so tell me exactly what you're going to do, and I'm going to write it out here so I know. We can, if you want to have a bit more of a think about it, we can leave it, and you can do it.
Yeah, I think we do.
And leave it until Mark and stuff, because that makes it a bit more instead of sort of deciding now. But general view is distraction, to let the other sort of areas, and you're all going together.
Yeah,
you're not splitting up. Bear in mind, obviously, Val and Galandra wear plate armor, so stealth is not in their sort of nature. I
think as far as Tharaval and Ciravel are concerned, Tharaval's made the oath to Ciravel to find his wife, so that's where he's going regardless.
Not bad at stealth.
So yeah, it's up to you. You other areas may provide helpful things. Should you?
Yeah, but it gets a bit of a headache just from a pure gameplay element. Trying to split this all up and managing both two plot strands at the same time becomes a bit of a headache.
It's gonna have to happen sooner or later, to be fair. So
Yeah, but let's minimize it. We can keep it to a minimum, though. To be fair.
Okay. It's up to you. There's. We can do this in downtime chat and stuff like that. But a direct assault with all of you on Kibarath is probably not a great idea. That's to say.
Oh, why?
Just because it's
Just because it's not.
yeah, it's not that. It's just that.
So.
No, well, it's not even that. Let's just say, what's on Kibarath? I can't say it without fucking ruining things. Let's just say,
Will kill us.
let's
Maybe
just say
that's not
all
how
of you,
I can take
basically, if you've got a bunch of noisy people charging into Kibarath, you're not, if you're going to the port.
Well, we're not going to be charged into Kibarath. We're going to sneak into Kibarath.
Are you going to
And
are you just
noisy.
going to go
My
set fire
thinking
and
is-
set fire to the? If you're going to just go and try and set fire to, well, one, you don't know where the fleet is and what's happening. As it stands, you have no information about any of this area around you and stuff. So you kind of need to understand what's around you at this moment in time. If you're going to assault Kibarath, you'll need more than what you've got, just you guys. If you're just there to try and destroy what fleet is there, you don't know what fleet's there, you don't know where they are, you don't know any information about what's going. You got halfway there and
We
had
do
to turn
have
back.
a prisoner that we can interrogate still, so. But my thinking was that we'd have a team that goes in to do the stealth shit, and then a signal will be given, and that's when it gets loud in the final moments before we leave. Like, that was my thinking. We just have people there in plate armor and whatnot as a precaution in case things do turn south and we need
Right.
to make a quick escape.
Okay, so your idea would be, effectively, that Ceravel and Tharaval sneak in to try and save.
I think we need to just do as we were saying before. We need to get a fast, small ship, and follow in the tracks of Trark Taunt. So we need to head Agover first, which is where they were going. Do some questioning of people in and around there. Do some reconnaissance, to find out, basically if people knew where he was going, if he actually made it there in the first place, or if he made it there and left, what sort of troops he had with him, where he was actually going with the ship, and then from there we can move on based off that information, whether it's going towards Kibarath or not.
You'll need.
I think just going straight to Kibarath is just,
suicidal. I'll say it now. Just going straight up there without any intel is going to be suicidal. I think you need to do, even if you do some reconnaissance in and around Kibarath to know what's going on, or you use your ship to sort of capture another ship so you can get some information about what's going on around. Basically, you've got nothing. You don't know anything that's surround. You are in a bubble now. You don't know what's going on around you, and obviously you need to understand before you kind of start making decisions on things.
Well then, if that's the case, we could use the ship that we've got, basically as bait. Head down to Agover direction, and see if we get contacted, and if we can basically sort of maybe have the ship sort of. They're not necessarily destroying ships; they are sometimes just trying to take them so they can actually be used.
What is the activating agent for the Krakens?
The progenitors.
Okay, what are the progenitors?
You don't know.
Right, so how do we find out what the progenitors are?
I get an intel. Right.
From
From people.
Right, so
you
we've got
know-
a person right here.
Say it again.
We've got a person right here.
You've got.
As in that prisoner.
You have a prisoner. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What are the progenitors?
Are you gonna unmouth them?
No, I'm going to give him a quill and some parchment.
Have we not questioned this guy to
you
death?
You pretty much.
Already?
He's given you everything. I think that he's going to give you.
Okay. Okay. What are the progenitors then?
But he doesn't know. I'd say he doesn't
Okay.
know. He's a bog standard
Okay.
cultist who doesn't know. It's like, think about it like the Gene Stealer cult in thing. You know, they don't really know what they're inviting in. They just being indoctrinated to the point where that's what they believe in and stuff. So it's like, you know,
Okay. Where did he hear about the progenitors?
from whatever sort of religious cult has sort of got him into it and stuff. His superiors is
Okay. Right. Where can we find his superiors?
Kibarath.
I honestly think the next protocol is Agover's, because it's a direction where people have gone that we know have gone missing. I think we're basically trying to track where Taunt has gone. So we need to sort of find what's happened with him. That did seem like a bit of a priority for Lady Taunt.
Yeah. Like I said, so the thing.
So whatever she can do to aid us in tracking him down, whether it be a crew for a ship or a ship itself, which I believe the harbor master was actually trying to track down for us anyway.
Yeah. Bear in mind also
Where
this other fellow, Temple Smith, who was going to be providing a ship for the cultists to escape on.
Who is this?
Temple
Yeah, I
Smith.
don't remember this.
You guys don't pay any attention. Temple Smith is so they when you were interrogating the guy, you said how were you going to leave, and he basically named a guy called Temple Smith who was going to provide them with a ship to leave.
So we could commandeer that ship and use it to scout, maybe? I don't know.
Well, we're not
Yep.
ready to go to Kibarath yet, so. I think
But we can still use it as we've got the flag signals to be and the ship that they were going to use. So basically, we can fly under the radar.
We don't have the ship that we're going to use at the minute.
Well, I
You've got the
mean,
flag
but we can track it down. So I think we're basically looking for this
I
guy.
think the next stage we kind of having a chat with Temple Smith.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But to head off a few walls.
I do not recall talking about this at all. So
I have my notes. You definitely. He told you that the guy when you interrogated him because he asked him how you were going to get off the island, and he told you the guy, well, Temple Smith was going to give you, because I said Temple's from the Red Country. I'm was just finished listening to. So yeah, okay. So you've got a vague idea of kind of what you need to do. You can talk it out a bit more on the RP chat. But I would suggest Intel being your first protocol, and thinking about other ways and stuff like, you know, that those runic things may help. You know that there's lots of things you could potentially use to help in this. You're going to need a fleet at some point in time for the actual assault.
And Matt really wants to do maritime.
I do. I really do. I really do. Basically, if you know, destroying the fleet, or at least damaging it to give yourself some more time is a viable option. But you need to have some intel before you just go charging down there, because you don't know what you're going to hit. So you're just going to
Kraken never knows what he's going to hit.
So you need some sort of kind of idea. So just basically what you're going to do when these guys are going to get sent out to send stuff off. Are you going to time it all together so they go off at the same time as you go down to do this? Or are they going to go down as soon as you set off the explosion? But let's just say you on your own will not be able to take on Kibarath.
Okay.
You may be able to. Tharaval and Saravel might be able to sort of infiltrate a bit to sort of, try and save some people because of their stealth.
The thing is, the stealth's fine, but it never lasts. Like, if you think about it, sooner or later somebody's going to roll a crit 20. So stealth is good. It can get you, if you're doing a couple of wee bits and pieces, but to infiltrate a full island, go in and get people and get them out again, it never worked. Like, even on the ship, didn't work. Stealth lasts for like a few rolls.
Yeah, well, you could maybe sort of look at getting. You could maybe look in the library for items that could help in that, with your stealth and stuff, or help with your mission. I would just sort of try different avenues and stuff. Basically, I'm trying to sort of, if there's other areas you can go to first to sort of help you with this sort of thing. So finding the intel, finding out things you could use to help you.
I think we're basically going to have to write out a list of these potential avenues that we can do, and sort of deep dive into them as to the things that we can do to actually achieve them. So basically, sort of come up with ideas of how we can get extra intel, the things that we possibly could do for like infiltration for more intel, potentially trying to set certain captives free, speaking to your man Silversmith about another ship.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, we'll leave it there then, because I think it's probably best everybody's sort of on board and you had a bit more of a think about it and stuff. So yeah, okay. We'll leave that for tonight. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. It was good to have Danny back, even briefly. Hopefully, she'll be back again next week when Freddie maybe be a bit more sleepy. But for tonight, I've been Matt Geary. With me has been Michael as Tharaval.
Hi, everyone.
Wes as Valshul Nostius.
Good night, guys.
Dave as Thomas Moonstar.
Looks like it's time to assemble the fleet.
Yes, and Peter's Dragon.
Night, everyone, and take care of each other.
Night!